Sunny day here in Glastonbury with my lovely, lovely friend and what shall I call you, Maya? Colleague? Apprentice? I don't know what to call you.
I call me both those things.
So yeah, the light might be a bit funny. Maya's looking lovely as usual. And I did move the laptop round because the light is coming in very strongly through the... Where's that? No, that's not very good. Anyway, so the sun will go down in a minute, and I think you can probably see half of my face, bright sunshine, and half is in the shadow. So let me just check, because I was telling Maya, she's new to doing this, and I was just saying I would be faffing around seeing if everything was going live when we started. So I'm not sure if it's going live. Or whether there's a time lag. It's not yet live on Facebook. And or whether there's a time lag. Oh, fantastic. It's not yet. Okay, so we are live on YouTube, which is fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So Facebook I'm not sure about, and the sun is so bright in my eyes. And we're absolutely fine on LinkedIn, which is wonderful. Facebook. Come on, go live on Facebook. Broadcaster only, edit your details. I had the same problem last week, and then we went out of the studio and back in the studio, and then it all went wrong. So I don't know what to do. Marion across the world, where are you?
Having fun.
Edit post, turn off, edit post. This video is live now. And it's public. Edit your details. Does anybody know? Watch live. And it's public. Okay, so interesting. Edit your details. Does anybody know? Watch live. Okay. And it's public. Okay, so all right. Interesting. Edit your details. Does anybody know? Watch live. So this is very entertaining. This. Okay, so
put a smile on my face.
Interesting. Does anybody know what's live? This is very entertaining. This. Okay, so. Okay, so I think it's all working now.
Okay.
So that's how we get to laugh at the beginning of the crazy show that we do. So who have we got here? Sharon. Hi.
It's good to hear from you, Sharon. I can't see you. But...
No, you can't see her. She's not here. But look, messages from Sharon. Isn't that amazing?
It is. It's just wonderful that we can connect like this.
Yeah. So Sharon, I have twisted Maya's arm. Actually, it didn't take too much twisting to.
Only a year and a half.
Sorry?
Only a year and a half.
A year and a half. It's just like I've been saying to Maya, how about doing a live video? How about doing a live video? And she's been nervous. And we have, who else we have here? Hello. Who's hello?
It's Sharon.
Oh, that's Sharon. Oh, the hello is in the pink. I see. Oh, la la. So I can't, it's very hard to do this on my own. I'm such a, yeah. So strange. One day I will have a perfect studio that we can roll out the Healing Earth videos, and it's all going to be wonderful. And yes, that light is very intense. I wonder what happens if I move this way. Oh, that's better.
I feel the same, Sharon. She's just saying how heartwarming it is to see us both, and just having her connect in, I can really feel my heart.
So hello everyone for the second time. I think we've now got it established that it's going live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and in LinkedIn. And this is Maya Pelham-Green, who is on our Council of Elders. Is like she said, I can't be on a Council of Elders because I'm
29.
29. And I said, well, Maya, you have been the first on this Council of Elders because you started alongside me when I started the trauma skills training, which was how many years ago?
9 years ago.
Yes, a long time ago, isn't it? So you're actually the oldest person in experience of trauma healing work. And that's really exciting. And from how you started in the beginning, and here we have, hello, look at this lovely lady.
Selena.
Selena, hi. And Selena is also doing the training. And yeah, we're launching a global initiative to bring trauma-informed healing into every sector of society in the world. So that's the mission. So Maya is going to carry it forward after me. She's dedicated herself.
Yeah.
And say, what's that, Maya?
I have. I'm very dedicated to it.
Yeah, and I think Selena is also quite excited about the work. She's just new to it. So it's a big, big mission, and like we're really, really in need of trauma healing at this point in time, aren't we?
It's the thing that's going to get us through this, healing our trauma, working with it.
Yeah, because so much is coming up to the surface at this point in time to heal. It's absolutely very exciting, but people are going through really, really tough times. So Marion and I started this back, I don't know whether it was April, we started doing the Elders' Wisdom in uncertain times, and we were quite sacrilegious in a lot of the things that we shared in our comments around what's going on, and kind of mellowed a little bit this week with you, Maya. So Marion is terrible to do these videos with because she's more of a rebel than I am even.
Yes, she is.
But what we were doing is actually launching a forum really to talk about our collective trauma and how what's happening at this moment on the planet is really triggering that, and how much we have to work both on our personal trauma and our collective trauma at this moment in time, and to know that we're not alone, and that this feeling of aloneness is very much a symptom of our collective trauma. And that there isn't a single person here that isn't going through very similar things, very similar experiences. So we have Brigitte. Hi, Brigitte. Hi. I thought you would still be indispensable. I mean, indisposed. You are indispensable, but indisposed as well. So can you read what Brigitte said, Maya? Is your eyes good?
Juliet, not sure how to join today, ? I'm back home, just raced to get on in time to see Maya.
Okay. So, and Brigitte, we can join you. We can send you a link to join in and to share a little bit and to encourage Maya along. And you don't have to be on the show for the whole time. If you want to go and get a cup of tea or something, because I know you've been racing around all day doing stuff. And come on in a minute, I will send you the link in WhatsApp. And here we have lovely Marianne. So Marianne, can you just tell Maya where you're from? I can't quite remember which part of the world you're from. Can you just post that up? I thought I was going to choke on my water then. So Brigitte said,
She wants the link.
can you, I'm relying on your eyes, Maya, because you're much younger. You're the youngest elder
She's going to get a cup of tea, and she asks you to send her the link.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, California.
Yeah, California. So we have a broad reach here. So we have some people in Australia that join us sometimes. I don't know if they will do because it's is it very early in the morning in Australia right now?
Well, it's definitely quite a different time to us now, but I don't know what time it is in Australia.
Yeah. And then you read this one? Or is it easier to read if I don't put them up? Like there. Can you read it better there?
Read it if you want. Oh, Selena's just posted.
Yeah, what's please?
So needed in an upside-down, crazy world with chains to be broken and programs to be reprogrammed with heart, love, compassion, connection, grace, in a new world we are all creating in every single moment. I love learning from you all. So wise.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Selena, because oh, excuse me. How has it been for you, Selena? You've started the trauma skills training with Maya and I. So what we haven't said, Maya, can you explain what you do? Because I'm choking on the water now.
Yeah. I've been working with Juliet since she started her trauma skills training. I was on her first ever training as a participant, and since then I've been working alongside her as an apprentice and an assistant, and now a colleague. So hold the space with her, and then run the course with her course.
Yeah. So I think you're going to have to run the show because I've got a terrible tickle now in my throat because I choked on the water. So keep talking.
Yeah.
So what brought you, Maya? What brought you into doing the trauma work training, first of all?
What brought me? I had spiritual and emotional practices that I pursued as a teenager, um, seeking the meaning of my suffering, my desires. So I was interested in this sort of work from early on. I'd never come across trauma as an idea until I started working with you. But what the spark that initiated it was I had a life-threatening accident in my early 20s that ruined my dance career and completely changed my life, and I needed to know how to deal with it. And you came along and gave me a lot of answers and support and love, and it won me over because it worked. It worked with dealing with the the horrible things that had happened to me.
Yeah, it was a pretty extreme accident, wasn't it, Maya? It's miraculous that you're here.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to be alive and walking around and have a brain that functions. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was almost like spirit was, I don't know, orchestrating that accident. Maybe, who knows?
Well, yeah, it was quite miraculous that I survived it. It was very, very tight there. Like walking on a tightrope. It was amazing. So I did, even though it was terrible, did feel very looked after by the fact that I came out of it as I did.
Yeah, that was amazing. So then you came and started having some sessions with me, and then I invited you to join the trauma skills training.
And I went, yes, 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 please, yes.
Just the way Selena now has. And your life started to get very interested in trauma healing, didn't it?
Well, it was just like, oh, all those shit things that happened to me and how I experienced them. It was like, oh, here's why. Here's the reason why it's all happening. This is something I can connect with, that I can work with. Because I'm all about connection. Why we want to connect, how we need to connect. I think it's a fundamental need in everyone to connect either to yourself, to the environment, to each other. We need each other. So this was something I could connect to make sense of what was happening. for me.
Yeah, and the doing the somatic work, when we started the somatic experiencing work.
Yeah, well, just as you said it, I got little goosebumps up my arm. So that's a wonderful example of the somatic work, how our brain and our, our reality is connected deeply into our body. You know, we can't separate ourselves from our body and our environment. It's all happening to us, and then our body is the way we experience all of that. So you learn to work with that, and you've got a real resource and an ally. You know, into, again, I'm going to use the word connection.
Yeah, because a lot of people think when we're talking about trauma that it's an emotional thing, it's about healing your emotions or healing a mental state, or that talking about it a lot, talking about the problems will make it all better, make it all go away. And they think that healing trauma is a lot about digging up really bad things that happened.
Well, yeah, and we've definitely learned that that isn't always helpful and isn't the route to healing.
And that trauma is a physical thing, and the pathway to healing is through the body, through, as you found, through your somatic experiences.
Yes, because you know, we have thoughts and we have feelings, but it's the physical sensations that accompany those thoughts and feelings that make life bearable or unbearable, or better than bearable. That's the plan, at least.
Yeah. So right now in this moment, Maya, here you are. We've sat in front of group after group after group, even went off to Turkey together and did a workshop there. What feels different in your body in this moment between holding space for those groups in a room and actually sitting now on a video and talking? What can you feel different in your body right in this moment?
You know, I'm very aware of this part of my face, and my eyes and my cheeks, as the main medium in which I'm connecting with you and with the people that are alive with us. Whereas when I'm in the physical body with them, I feel a much sort of lower sensation deep in my tummy, sort of, which I'm not getting in the same way as I'm sitting here online, I guess.
So do you feel as relaxed on the camera as you do in the room?
No.
No. So what happens for you?
What happens for me when I'm here on the camera, it's like my limbs want to do something. I don't mean move so much, but there's a slight preparedness, and they don't have a job. Whereas when I'm in the room with someone, they have a purpose or a job, if that makes sense. That's how it feels, at least.
Okay, it's interesting. So it's not preparedness to run because it feels, you feel exposed because you're on a camera and there are lots of people out there that you can't see.
No, I don't want to run away.
No, okay.
Must be healing then.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So Brigitte has said, oh, here's some messages for you, Maya, from Brigitte. What does she say? Can you read it?
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna make me read it.
Good about you read it.
And you are an amazing woman, Maya. You give me read this. And very profound and true to your path, both as a woman and a healer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brigitte.
Yeah, and Brigitte is at the other end of the spectrum on our elders' wisdom in terms, like in age terms. She's the elder one. It's just this
very wise elder.
Very, very wise elder who's spoken on this. I never know what to call it, whether it's a program, a video, or whatever, live stream or whatever. So she has, like others, she was very nervous. First of all, I was really nervous about doing a video. Oh my God, I don't dare do that. It took me 3 years to get enough courage to stand in front of a video camera, make a video, and show myself. So yeah, we're all going through this thing of like somehow we have to take take the steps, have the courage to step up and share our message further. And Sharon has also put a message there.
It is so beautiful. Out of our trauma, from awareness of our wounds and our reaching out to heal them, we go on to support and help others with theirs.
Oh, right. That's amazing. I didn't see that one. And I was like, am I missing ones? So Sharon says, oh, yes, I see. Yes, yes, yes. My eyes. Okay. Oh, I was seeing the one underneath. So is Therese here as well? Therese, are you here? You know, it's very difficult for us because we have no idea of who's watching. It doesn't give us any list of who's watching because we're not seeing the Facebook page or anything. We're just seeing this Restream studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Maya has is taken a very exciting step in her career in trauma healing, and that is that. So who do we have popping up here now? Sharon. Oh, Therese is here. Hi, Therese. That's amazing. So there are lots of our lovely group showing up from different years' trainings. It's so beautiful. So Maya, how do you want to share anything about what's happening soon in October?
Yes, I'm going to be teaching the year 1 training that Juliet offers this year, starting in October. I'll be running it for the first time. Teaching, holding space, sharing, healing, connecting with people. Yep.
Yeah, that's really amazing, really beautiful. So Maya holds the most beautiful space, and I will be there as well. And Sue is also there, and Sue is going to be assisting. So it's going to be a very, very beautiful held space. It's a wonderful space for people new to trauma healing work to step into and to come and do the training, which is so needed at this time. And Sharon says, how wonderful. Yeah, so you know the idea of what we're building here is like a healing sangha. So we've got the advanced training, which a whole Brigitte and Maya and Sue and Julia and Marianne and Rachel have all been through the advanced training, and from there we now have formed the Council of Elders, who are going to be doing the videos. And when you've been through the advanced training, then you have the opportunity to be invited onto the Council of Elders, of which Maya said, no, I can't because I'm only 29. But as you can see, how we've explained it is that actually she's the first one that started working alongside me in trauma healing work. So it's really exciting. And the idea is that as Maya does that, and then eventually she is able to hold the year 1 trainings, and I'm working much more with people on the advanced trainings, of which we're also starting the second advanced training in October, which is really, really exciting.
So exciting.
Yeah. Which Maya will also be coming on.
Yes, I'll be there. I've just been through the advanced training. It changed form a little bit, I think, as to what Juliet expected it to be, because the last couple of years have been a bit disrupted in terms of us meeting. Not anymore, but initially it was. So we'll be all meeting in person this time, which is how we like to do it.
Yeah, and we go a lot deeper, don't we? I mean, how would you describe the difference between the year 1 and maybe Brigitte, if you're still here, you know, how would you describe the difference between the year 1 and the advanced?
The first description that came to mind was the difference between going for a jog around the block and going for a very long proper run in terms of the time, the depth, the challenges. But it also feels maybe softer for that. Because we go in so deep, you have to really resource and really work on it. So you provided us with a lot of support that we can't offer as much on the year one. So it was beautifully held in terms of
Thank you.
support that you gave us.
So, all right, there's a long message here from, hang on. Can you read chat? Oh, this is Brigitte. Oh, I see. I'm watching the link you shared is the one I'm watching you and Maya now. However, I'm not able to log into the live stream. Brigitte, you can just click the link I've sent you in WhatsApp and you can come on whenever you want to. And it says, Maya, you have truly amazing good earth energies and wisdoms and the skills from being fully trained, and your skills are needed to hold those who just start engaging in their own inner process and trust that they will come out more in touch with their own resources, and talents. For yes, out of our most profound wounds, there lies our strength. Absolutely, Brigitte. So, yeah, that's so beautiful. So it would be lovely if you want to come on at some point, Brigitte, and just speak when you've had your cup of tea and share your experiences, how you are, because I know you've been going through a lot these last few days. And you just go to WhatsApp where I've sent you the link. I'll send it again just in case I sent it wrong. So just sending it again to you. Okay, so people find it hard to relate to what is, when we talk about trauma healing. What is trauma healing? What is trauma healing? What does it actually mean? So let's think about that for a minute. So Brigitte, you just click the link that's in WhatsApp. Just click on it like you did previously when you came on. Exactly the same. Just click, click, just the same. So what is trauma healing? What does it mean? What is trauma?
You asking me?
I'm asking you. I'm asking anyone who wants it. We've got a number of people here that have been through the training. What is trauma? Is it just like some awful thing that's happened to you, or is it, what's the difference between a car accident? Is that trauma, or being neglected as a child, or as a small child falling out of your high chair, for instance? Or what is trauma? Now, how is it relevant to everybody?
Well, we all share trauma. We all experience it. Doesn't mean that we know what it is.
So how does trauma manifest in our lives? How do we know if we are traumatized? Like for the person that you bump into in the street and they've just heard about the trauma skills training and they think, oh, well, is that something that's relevant to me? I'm not sure it's relevant to me.
Well, the biggest indicator I had of trauma was a separation, a disconnection or a separation. That was the biggest indicator I had of my own trauma, was feeling a disconnection or a separation somewhere in my body, in my experience, in my felt sense, or in the way that I interacted with the world.
So how did that separation, that feeling of separation, how did that affect you?
well, it's very painful to be separated. That's how I feel. Because I don't think it's true. I think that we're all inherently connected and that we need to be connected. And so to experience separation of any kind is painful because it's not the reality. It's not our true nature. And anything that goes against truth is painful, is suffering.
Yeah. So just pause for a moment. Brigitte is still having trouble finding the link. Brigitte, go to your WhatsApp. I've sent you the link in WhatsApp. So what does it feel like when you're disconnected, when you're not connected? What's actually going on for you when you're disconnected? Is it a nice feeling, or is it a comfortable feeling? I mean, in your body, what do you feel when you're disconnected?
Well, I mean, that's something that we explore a lot in the work that we do together, Juliet, and the work we do with our clients. Is what is it that informs you that you're disconnected? Because if you're disconnected, shouldn't you not feel? And so I have clients that report, a lack of feeling or numbness. But in my experience, behind that lack of feeling or numbness is feeling.
Behind the feeling of numbness is feeling.
Yeah. And so, I mean, what that tells me is that person is still connected, that it is a untruth, that we're disconnected, because how can you feel if you're disconnected? And yet everyone I work with who is disconnected feels.
So it's like they're connected, but they don't know they're connected, and they feel the pain of their perceived disconnection.
Yeah.
Brigitte has just posted this about dissociation. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do we welcome those parts back? Those exiled parts, those parts that because we don't, no one really chooses to be disconnected. I don't think. I think we disconnect because we believe we have to, or because we need to survive.
Or we weren't connected in the first place because of damage to attachment, for instance.
Yeah.
They were separated from our parents in the beginning, or as Gabor Mate talks about, our parents were really, really stressed and weren't able to really give you the kind of attachment, attention, and attunement that a human baby needs
To connect. Yeah, if it's not safe, we won't connect.
so that even parts of the brain that's all about connection don't grow because you don't have that kind of nurturing happening.
Yeah.
Because it's the interaction with the parents that cause your brain to grow in the first place.
Yeah.
In ways that are relational, to do with relationships.
Yeah, and that's ultimately my main focus in the work that we do together is connections. How do people connect? Why do we choose to connect? When I was a little girl, I used to, whenever I was separate from people that I loved, I'd go and stand outside at night time and look up at the moon and think, well, they're still under the same moon as me. We must be connected in some way if they're under the same moon. And it gave me a sense or a feeling right from an early age that there's always something that connects everyone. And I just wanted to find out what it was since then. So then, when you have big disagreements, or at the moment, in the world, there's some very opposed opinions and ideas of how things should be. And I want to try and dig underneath that and find what connects us all, because I truly feel and truly believe that we are.
Yes, it's a biological imperative that human beings are connected. That's how we're hardwired for connection, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're like a herd of deer. We're a tribe of humans, and humans aren't biologically equipped to be alone, to live alone. It's like
No,
human beings need more care than any other mammal.
no, we physically build parts of our brain through connecting with each other, or connecting with our caregivers when we are little.
So
And also, we're just connected as a human, connected to our elbows and our wrists and our fingers and our legs and toes. Everything in us is about connection. We connect to the environment, we breathe in the air and breathe it out. We're always exchanging and connecting with everything we interact with, even if we don't realize it.
yeah. So Brigitte, as we are coming up against technical problems, Brigitte, I'm going to send the link again. Just try this. Maybe there's just more about this than I understand. So I've sent you the link again. I've taken a fresh link this time because I don't know what it meant, what you said. So, hi ladies. Oh, Zoe's here. Zoe Senior. Julia, I hope to make your next Zoom session. Just had to switch off from everything. Wasn't coping very well. Hope you're okay. Hi Zoe, that's lovely. So you mean the next Zoom session with the Outsiders social network? So joining that, my eyes are watering now. Oh my goodness. So I'm a bit all over the place. Can we be all right with however we are in this moment in time? So here we are on this video. Can we do things in a different way than the BBC? Can we be happy with all our insecurities, all our frailties, all our not being good,
Humanness.
all the cobwebs in our hair, or the brambles, or whatever, or the watering eyes?
Well, that's what we do on the trauma work, isn't it? Is how do we build the capacity to just be with what is?
Yeah, to show up without having to put on a mask or a face, to really be ourselves, to feel like we don't have to pretend to be something else in order to feel safe in connection. Yeah. So Brigitte says, do you want to read it or shall I try? And makes my eyes when I try to read it.
I agree. We each moment interact with all the trees and all that is amazing to just be aware that with each other, with each breath I take, the trees around me offer me oxygen while I breathe out carbon dioxide. Amazing miracle of each moment. Perfect. I so love Maya and Juliet, this interconnection with all of life.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Brigitte. That's a very, very beautiful example of how not only are humans connected, but how all life is interconnected.
Yeah.
And when we heal our trauma, when we're no longer dissociated, then we can really begin to feel this interconnection, and just know that this is a very profound, a very real thing, and that a human being can't exist in isolation without being cared for in a very tender and loving way. And if we don't have that care, then we grow up in a way that's harmed, in a way that we call that we're traumatized. But if we do have the care and the connection, then we're a very, very different being. Human beings are not this auto. I don't know how to describe it. It's a bit like we've been the conditions prevailing at this moment has kind of made us kind of a bit automated, a bit two-dimensional. When in fact, when our senses come alive and we're really connected, we're amazing, amazing beings, aren't we?
When we embody, we can rest in the present moment and respond from there, as opposed to reacting from the past or to the future. We can fully bring all our life force energies into this moment, and each and every moment can be like that.
So how do we have the courage just to be in this moment, even though this moment might be really scary?
By building resource. That's what we're doing here by connecting in with everyone. Is we're building our resources, our capacity to be with the present moment.
So, given that times are absolutely crazy right now and people are stressed up to the hilt, how can we help people build their resource?
Well, I mean, I think what you're doing is great in terms of connecting people. So we need to know that we're not alone. Is a big one, and to connect in to each other. So what you're doing with the trauma work and with the community gardens, they're all resources for a lot of people, because we've got all the answers. We've got everything we need if we're together. We can find the way through if we're connected to each other.
Yeah, we are a huge amount of there's a huge amount of wisdom here in our bodies, isn't there? It's not just like, as Thomas Hugel describes, I thought this was really lovely when he shared it. It's like we are the sum total of generations and generations and generations of humans, and all that experience, like we have learned how to survive, and that's there in our DNA. We have learned how to deal with any kind of illness, any kind of conditions. It's all there in our bodies, and it's not necessarily in our thinking mind. It's just that our bodies know how to do it. Our immune system knows how to heal. Our soul knows how to um, inspire and support us. It's all there. We just need to be still enough just to come into our center and be still enough and to listen and to trust in the present moment, to trust that place that we can settle into in the present moment, where we can deeply listen and we have all the solutions.
Yeah. I am because we are.
Yeah. And that is very hard to do when we're driven by fear.
Yep. Well, fear takes us out of the present moment, doesn't it?
And fear then puts us into a reactive state where we don't have the capacity, the full capacity as human beings. We're simply in our animal brain when we're in fear. That's just, everything's just driven in that moment to try.
Yeah, our choices go down.
Yeah.
What we perceive that we can do gets very, very narrow very, very quickly when we're in fear.
Yeah. And I think this is the big thing that's been happening over the last 18 months, isn't it? It's like people are in a tremendous amount of fear, or have been. And this means that they've fallen out with each other. What you were saying earlier, Maya, about connection and about how important it is to stay connected. Like we've been faced with that, haven't we? Like loved ones falling out with each other, or friends falling out with each other. It's like how do we build through that? How do we maintain our connection even when people are too frightened to connect even?
Yeah. Absolutely, because we all still need it. We all still need to connect, even if we're too afraid to connect. And we all are still connecting to some degree, even in that fear. Like I said, it's a trick. Separation's a trick.
Yeah. It's a trick, and it can't really be pulled off even though when there's been a good attempt to separate us all out.
It doesn't work, does it?
So Matt, yeah, what's the most exciting thing that you're feeling at the moment in your life? That's, even though things have been really challenging.
I'm excited to see how many people are wanting to connect with what we're facing, with the threat of such disconnection in so many ways. Not just how we well, not just with what happening in the last couple of years, but just how we're going as humans in terms of living more separately, and technology kind of rising, and we're interacting much more in modes like this. I'm just amazed at how fundamental it is to connect, and how many people, without even thinking it, know that it's a need. And so I'm just seeing people wherever I go initiating that, and it seems like the bad stuff that's happening is pushing that more. So again, like you see in the trauma work, it's the wounding that informs the healing. That's how it's feeling with what I'm seeing with people wanting to connect. It's the wounding or the collective trauma that's informing the healing. People are going, okay, this is happening. Oh, this is what we need. And there's so many people who are realizing that, or moving towards that, even if they're not realizing it on a conscious level. It's not just people who are doing trauma work or living off grid or whatever it is. There's so many people I'm coming across, just anyone, everyone.
So it's just happening in the collective no matter what. And I'm wondering how much, when we do healing work, that then that ripples out and has an impact on others that aren't even conscious of doing healing work. That because when we work with our trauma and our nervous systems are changed and we become much calmer, that immediately ripples and has an effect on our relationships around us. So I'm just wondering how much this is actually having an impact on people.
Yeah.
A lovely message here from Marianne. Can you read it, Mike?
I look forward to this gathering each week. It is becoming more important to have this genuine connection over time, as what is going around us grinds on.
Yeah, thank you. That's beautiful, Marianne. Thank you. Yeah, I want to share. I had such a lovely experience yesterday. I've over the last few months, I've been sitting out the front of my house to have a cup of tea just by the garden, and I'd see people passing on the street. And this man came down the street in a wheelchair. It's just like electric chair. He just came along on his own, no one with him pushing. And I recognised him because I've seen him going up and down the road over the last year or so. And, when I'm driving down the road, there he is, just going up the road in his wheelchair. And I always wave to him. And the other day, yesterday, I'm talking about, as I was sitting out there, he came along in his wheelchair and he stopped outside my house, and he just stopped his wheelchair there and was just looking at me, and he couldn't speak. He couldn't do anything, but he just stopped to connect. He'd never spoken to me. Maybe he'd seen me in the car waving to him. I don't know. But there was something that just stopped him in that moment, and I walked over to him and spoke to him, but he couldn't speak and he couldn't move, only just like he could just lift his hands a little bit. I was so amazed and so touched. And
We were connecting.
connected. We were connected.
Need words.
Yeah, and he brought himself there. He had the he brought himself here to connect. It was so beautiful. And I just really feel for how many people are trapped and feeling lonely and disconnected and in pain.
Yeah. Mm. Many.
But it's something that we can all do, isn't it? It's like if we can get out of our own pain and out of a feeling like I'm not worthy, or who would want to talk to me, or maybe they're going to hate me, or whatever. If we can get out of that and just just make a small offering in some way of our attention or our time, someone somewhere, I know Brigitte is wonderful at this because wherever she goes, don't you, Brigitte? Wherever you go, you always make friends and connect and talk to people. But some of us, maybe we feel a bit too shy. I can't do it as much as you, Brigitte. But just to provide the opportunity to,
I think you do it lots, Julia.
yeah. So Brigitte says, the universe right now is guiding each one of us to be in connection, however that appears in our life. Let us welcome that moment. Oh, I've lost that now.
Let's welcome that moment. That is magic.
Oh, that is magic. Yeah.
That's all we need, is just to be authentically ourselves in connection with each other.
Yeah,
And you just watch how that heals the world.
absolutely.
It's so simple.
Very simple. It's so simple, and it's something so important that every one of us could do. It's just to reach out in a connection and make a small offering of a smile or a kind word or a touch or a gift or something. So, just a minute.
It's easier. It's ultimately, it'll be easier. It felt as easier to connect, to authentically connect. It's like to just be in the truth. And the truth is always easier than the lies. It takes so much more energy, so much more force to maintain a lie than to just be in the truth of where you're at.
And
And that's why it's so healing.
Yeah, and the truth of who we are, the beauty of who we are. We don't have to pretend to be anyone else. We don't have to, put on a mask and make appearances, because we're just beautiful as we are, even if we don't conform to the social standards or whatever. It's like if our hair is a little bit, or whatever, and whatever.
Yeah, your hair's a little bit wispy, or your armpits are hairy, or
yeah, we don't need to.
Beard going on.
Yeah, and Selena's also.
Doesn't matter. Oh, hey, Marion.
Oh, is Marion here?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So Marion, want to hear from you in just a second. So Selena says, my opinion about what trauma is, I also think about what it isn't. And it isn't an event, but more about the impact of lasting impact of an event or experience that has effects that it has on the function of our nervous system. I used to think trauma was Selena, was rewiring our brain in a negative direction, and I love exploring all the esoteric fields, meaning, and experiences about this work and topic also. Like Maya says, we're all so connected, as above, so below, within or without. Our body knows how to heal. So yeah, that's a beautiful message, Selena. That's really important, and yeah, we're learning all the time, isn't it? We don't fully know. We don't know the full depths of what trauma is, but it's a really new topic, and we're learning more and more. So, hang on. So, hairy legs and pits. Marion.
She put a big rose first, so she's saying she loves them.
Oh, she loves hairy arms and pits. Thank you. Marion, I don't believe that you are on the other side of the world now and you actually got there. You've just arrived in Mexico. How cool is that? What time of the night is it, Marion? Do you want to pop on and say hello? Shall I send you the link so we can just have you here for a minute? I'm going to send you the link in WhatsApp if you can get it. I don't know if you can.
It's midday in Mexico.
Midday in Mexico. Oh, wow. So I've sent you the link, and whilst you're seeing if you can connect, Brigitte said, all right. Brigitte, you've been off to see your GP today, and she says my heart opened to him as he has a nervous system and welcomed me with
Nervous disease.
a nervous disease, sorry, and welcomed me with a walking stick. Can you read it?
The shared time was profound and true between us both. My heart experiences sadness, and I showed that to him. However, shared as I left him, that I could see that amazing spark of light in his eyes, and that was beautiful.
Oh,
Connection is so beautiful. Thanks, Brigitte.
yeah. And where are we? And there's a message from Marianne in California. Can you read that?
Others align with us and pick up our state when we do connect. So when we focus on healing ourselves, it heals those around us as well. It's beautifully put.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So people feel it when we do connect. They really feel that feeling, and then that calms, because that's what human beings is, to feel connected. That's what we need, and that immediately calms our nervous system.
Mm.
I remember, was it last week when you came to my house, Maya, and I was kind of quite agitated about something, and you and Sue came into the living room and you said, "Oh, I think we need a little sage, a little smudge."
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was last week.
And you brought your drum and drummed a little bit and smudged, and I could just feel my nervous system really beginning to settle in that moment. It was beautiful. And I am going to. So Marion says it's easy and it's midday. Okay, wonderful. So Maya, have you brought your drum here on the show?
Well, I mean, she's always with me.
Can you tell us a little bit about your lovely drum? Okay.
Yeah, I can tell you. This is
Yeah.
my medicine.
Oh, sorry, just Marion's got a visitor, so that's fine, Marion. So that's great. She says it was easy to get to Mexico. That was lovely. So Maya, share with us about your drum, and Brigitte runs drum making workshops as well. So she's you're in the Brigitte shamanic group now.
Well, hopefully, love to be. Well, she's your real teacher on it. This is the first drum I've made. I made it this year with a friend of mine who makes drums. Marion saying hers is in the intention phase.
Yeah, she was going to go to Brigitte's workshop. Oh, Brigitte says she can't do it at the moment. She's got a sprained wrist.
Yeah, it's quite hard work. It was quite a physical thing to make the drum because you have to work with the hide while it's wet, and if it dries out, it gets much harder to manipulate. So, we were singing and saying prayers and offerings and thanking the animal that we've worked with. I've made it with an ash frame, which is, I think, quite traditional for a medicine drum. But for me, I mean, she's just a resource, a healing tool, a way in which I can embody more in the moment or feel more in the moment. So when I pick her up and I start drumming, I can feel my feelings more easily or hear my thoughts more gently. Everything softens, so I'm able to take it in more easily. So I'm experiencing her as a big medicine tool. I guess that's why they call the medicine drum.
Yeah, so that's really soothing your nervous system, making this lovely drum and having her with you. And how was it this morning? I heard you had this amazing experience. When I woke up this morning, looked out the window, it was just like a sea of mist. It was the beautiful mists of Avalon, and the birds were really alive and singing, and it was exquisite. But you had an even more profound experience this morning, didn't you, Mike?
Well, we were probably having similar. I was out there too, in
Did
that
you
fog.
go up the
Went
tor?
up yes, I went up the Tor. I went above the mists and drummed in the sunrise. Mhm.
Oh, that's beautiful. So Brigitte said, yes, drums are alive, weaving both animal, tree, and your own inner beingness. Absolutely living connections, living companions.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I'm just starting to explore that. I'm new to the journey.
So how was it when you were drumming the sunrise on the tour this morning?
How was it? It feels a bit like singing with the birds. Mm. You just feel immediately connected into it all. So I was just drumming with the sun and the air and the earth around me, and it connects me in. It makes me feel that I'm part of everything, and in such an effortless way. You know, trauma, at least my trauma, makes me feel like I have to work to get something, and yet all the healing feels the opposite. It feels effortless. It's the trauma that feels full of effort. Mm.
So Brigitte says, you have held that wisdom inside you for eons, Maya. So this is just about reconnecting and remembering. That
Yeah.
is all, dearest one.
That's what it feels like. Definitely.
Effortless. Yeah. So are we able to hear your drum, your lovely drum? How would it feel to?
To play her, I mean, she, you
I
can
don't
hear her sing if you want to. I mean,
Yes, I'd love to. I don't know how you would feel about that, whether it's okay to ask you that or not.
well, I don't mind letting you hear it, but I'm just drumming a very simple like 2/2 beat or 4/4 beat. It's not
Yeah,
simple
and I don't
musical
know how it
piece.
would sound with the microphone or whatever. Let's just give it let's give it a try. And how about it? How about just setting the intention that this drumming just helps us connect to ourselves, and it's like a healing medicine for everybody on this planet, that
Mm.
we can all feel connected with each other, even if we're feeling alienated from our loved ones, or we're feeling angry with somebody or against something that's going on. Let's just sit for a moment with some simple song from the drum,
Yeah.
and yeah,
And ultimately, it's just a vibration. So putting that intention into that vibration, the vibes can go out into the world. Mm. Okay.
so beautiful. So Brigitte says, so joyful. Oh, thank you, Brigitte. And thank you, Maya. That's such a profound sharing. And yeah, it's time to go. And I just want to wish, just to say that this prayer that may all beings be happy. May we all be happy. May we all be well. May we all be free from suffering. Wherever we are in the world. Whatever is going on for you. And to know that we can rise above with our wisdom. Lots of love to you all. Lots of love. See you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye for now.